I'm Debbie, founder of Play Healing. I'm a play and parent consultant. And today I'm going to show you why creating a playbox for a refugee who's been displaced can be the most beautiful gift and help them slowly start to heal from trauma. The first thing that I line my box with is some paper, not just a few pieces of paper, but quite a few pieces of paper, because there are many children who love to draw. Also, they can make origami with it, they can make paper aeroplanes, and there's nothing worse than running out of paper when you want to draw something. Or make a poster. It might be someone's birthday coming up and they haven't got much of a party, but they can create something to make the new room or the new place look bright and cheery. So my number one thing for making sure that I put in my box is paper. Alongside paper, I've put some felt tips in, really nice and bright. Pencils, coloured pencils, and making sure you've got a pen in there too, for the adults maybe joining as well, and maybe they just want to work on their writing. I'd also put some stickers in. I don't know many children that don't like stickers. Another way that they can be creative and really start expressing themselves is through anything that they can squidge and mould. And plasticine is wonderful because it's got different colours, so they can really go to town with some different ideas. Sensory dough here, so I'm putting some of my sensory dough in. We can just get some Play-Doh there. Squishing things, something squishy will really help to get the stress out. Sometimes if you tense up and then release, it helps to relax the body. And it's something very special and something that they can express themselves, and maybe they will create things and process in 3D way. It might really suit that child. Talking about something to squish, there's another thing here I have that really is very satisfying. It's not got any liquid in, so you've still allowed it. It's just air, and it's fun. It's a funny duck kind of face, and it's going to bring them a lot of joy. The great thing about this is you can throw it around, and I'm sure there'd be a lovely game between an adult and child or siblings throwing it to each other. And when you throw and you do any kind of ball game, if you can't fit something this big in, just a nice squidgy ball like this, you get the eye contact and they feel more assured and seen. And you want that, you want that child to feel seen and safe. So something that they can throw, something they can squidge to, be amazing. The next area I want to touch on is something that they can be soft and nurturing, something they can cuddle, something they can talk to, a character that is not a human, and maybe like a pet they've missed or had to leave behind or something. I've chosen a lovely dragon because it's got kind eyes, it sits beautifully, it's got big ears so it can listen, and it's so soft. It's a nice enough size that they can really cuddle up to it. And the great thing is it's a fantasy kind of character as well, so it's quite removed from what they've experienced. And sometimes, we need to use that kind of fantasy land to help children to feel safe, and this can be part of a safe world for them. So that's why I've chosen a little dragon. The next thing that we know as experts is we know that breathwork and breathing really help to regulate the nervous system. Now, in some play boxes, if we're sending things abroad or sending things to travel, we can't use bubbles because it's got liquid in. But that exercise of blowing bubbles, making those long outward breaths, can really help a child. So instead, I've got two options for you. I'm sure you can think of others. You can do games with feathers. So you can blow feathers or let them go, and they can go, or something like a windmill. That can just help them to think about, to breathe and to keep regulated. This just brings a smile to my face every time I see it. And they can even put it in the home or outside of the new home just to brighten things up a bit. Now we go on to something that will keep them physically active. Give them that sense of challenge. I love bean bags. You can do bean bag games where you can throw them into hoops, throw them to each other again. You can balance them on your head and walk around. You can do so many things with bean bags. I love bean bags. And when you're cross, you can throw them against the wall and nothing gets hurt, nothing gets destroyed. So I would love you to think about putting something like a beanbag in. You can also practice your juggling too. One of the things we know from Bessel van der Kolk is that we need to move the body, and movement can be so important when we're trying to help a child to recover from trauma, to get back inside the body. And one of the ways is through dancing and moving. And this is one of my favorite things. It's like a fan with an extended piece of material on. So when a child moves, any kind of movement they do gets really accentuated, and they will play with these for hours. You can also play hide and seek and do silly faces, and I'm sure the parent will want to have a go. You can play dress up and do role play with these. I have seen the most powerful transitions and transactions with children using this. So I'd recommend getting something like this or a ribbon, any piece of material. You could just put a piece of material in and think about how many things it could be used for, some kind of chiffon. So I would really recommend thinking about how can I encourage this child to move around and be physical. We know about the power of music to heal the body. And one thing that I would definitely put in if I could get my hands on one is a microphone, one of the toy microphones that distorts the voice or it makes your voice echo, because children who sing and start to sing, their breath will regulate, their body will calm down, and also just to give them a voice, help them to express themselves, to laugh. With those little settings on it, you can bring a lot of joy. Children love to role play, to process what they've seen and heard, and sometimes you can get hold of a first aid kit or a doctor's kit, and it might be, if you can find a really small one or something, that might help them. Or you could put in some plasters, and this is a stethoscope. It's actually a real stethoscope that the children used to love playing in the playroom with. So think about something maybe they can role play with. I hope that's giving you some ideas of what you can include in your box. It's completely up to you, but I definitely encourage you to think about how you can encourage that child to move, be physical, be challenged, how you can help them to relax and do some breath work, how you can help them to squidge things, and also how you can put something in that will feel nurturing, something they can cuddle up to. If you like this video, don't forget to share it. And I hope this has helped you to pause and really think about the power of play to bring connection and healing to the wider society that we live in today. I'd love to hear how you get on. And if it's too much to make a Playbox, maybe you can make one with your friends at school and all bring in one thing. You can decide how you do it, or give a donation to the appeal to help these families in crisis today. I'm Debbie John from Play Healing. Thank you for watching.